Hello everyone and welcome back to another vlog. So this week I'm going to try to read 3 books. We all know I try to read 3 books. Do I ever succeed with that? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Most of the time I don't. But either way, I'm still going to attempt to do that. Before I get into the books I will be reading this week, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video chats, text messages, and even live chats with your therapist. And you don't even have to do it on camera if you want to. I know some people with therapy, they don't want their face to be seen. They just want to talk to somebody. So all this you can do without even showing your face if you so desire. If you want to show your face too, that's good too. Like I've talked about a lot, I struggle greatly with anxiety, especially right now with a lot of things that are going on in my personal life, with family life, things like that. I'm dealing a lot with my dad that has really caused my anxiety level to really skyrocket a lot. So it's always good to talk to somebody to just get help. That's the bottom line. Mental health is a stigma that is being talked about more in this day's culture, which I'm very grateful for, but there's still a lot of people that are still very skeptical and very scared of therapy and the idea of therapy. And just know that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say you're not doing well. We all don't have to have this facade that we have everything together, because spoiler alert, none of us do. You may watch me and think I have my life together. Trust me, I do not. It's a daily struggle to do many things because we all have different struggles, and that's okay to admit. Interested in talking to a therapist, all you have to do is to go on BetterHelp, and they have an online survey where you can tell them specifically what you're looking for, what you need in a therapist, and there they will match you with a therapist within 2 days. Then from there you can schedule your meeting with your therapist, whether it be on video, whether it be on text, whatever you want to do. And as always, whatever you talk about with your therapist is obviously completely confidential. That goes without saying, but it needs to be said. Plus, in case you're not feeling your therapist, because that's okay, not one therapist is set for every person, just like one booktuber is not set for every person. You can ask to switch your therapist with no additional cost at all on BetterHelp. So join the 3 million plus people today that have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. If you're interested in a BetterHelp, I will leave the link down below. With that link, you can get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp if you go to www.betterhelp.com/bookables. Like I said, you'll get 10% off your first month, so go check it out. Like I said, there's no shame in asking for help. It's going to be beneficial to you. Trust me, it will. Now, onto the books I'm reading. So, like I said, I'm trying to read 3 books. I have 1 physical book, maybe 2, we'll see. It's a thriller week. I have been reading a lot of thrillers lately. I've just been in the mood for them, which is somewhat like me, but somewhat not. But either way, I'm just gonna embrace it because I'm a mood reader now, and that is what I do. So the first book, I actually just started this today, and it's called The Nothing Man by Katherine Ryan Howard. And I heard about this because I plan to, in this vlog, read her newest book coming out on Tuesday, which I don't have it yet. It comes out on Tuesday, and that is called Runtime. In that book, all I know, it's about an actress that gets a job, I think, in a slasher film, and obviously the slasher film becomes more realistic than what it is like they're filming. So it sounds really creepy, so I wanted to check that out, and when doing so, I heard about her previous book, The Nothing Man, and how intriguing it sounds. So this one I just started, like I said, at 20 pages in. So in this book, it's like a book inside a book, and it's been around a lot, but this one's really interesting because it's about a character named Eve Black, who at the age 12 was the only member in her family to survive an encounter with the serial attacker known as the Nothing Man. Now, as an adult, she's obsessed with finding the man who destroyed her life. So she writes a book all about it, and this is like the cover of it. And then we follow, we have that book going on, so you get snippets of that book. And then who should find this book but none other than a security guard named Jim, who AKA is the Nothing Man. He begins to realize how dangerously close Eve is getting to the truth. He knows she won't give up till she finds him. He has no choice but to stop her first. So it's about a serial killer, it's a book about a person that survived a serial killer attack, but it's also about the serial killer that she's writing about reading about it. Like, he's reading a book about him. Like, that sounds amazing and creepy. Like, it's just so cool. And so what's in this book is that, the first page starts with him. He's just, on patrol, and he finds this book. And then it actually shows like a little bit of a different page of her book inside. You can definitely tell when you're reading her book. It even will say on it, like, let me see if I can do it. It'll say Eve Black, and then it'll say The Nothing Man. And then you go back to his perspective, it will say Katherine Ryan Howard, The Nothing Man. So it's really intriguing, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So those two books I'm for sure reading, both by the same author. It's my first foray into Katherine Ryan Howard. I know she wrote another one called 56 Days that came out during the pandemic, and it was kind of about the pandemic, and I didn't have a ton of interest in it, but maybe I'll love these two so much I'll have to read it. So there's that. And then to lighten things up, I do plan to read a historical novel, Angelica Frankenstein Meets Her Match by Sally Thorne. She's a very popular romance author. I've read all of her books, and this is her first foray into historical romance, so that'll be fun. Yeah, that's my plan for this week. This week is a busy week because not this week that I'm filming, but the week after that, my daughter turns 1. If you can't believe it, neither can I. This year flew by. I cannot believe she's 1. But this weekend we're celebrating her first birthday. So I'm having a party. It's the only real party I really decorate for. I do decorate some for Noah's parties, but it's mainly just family and stuff. For the first birthday, like I did for him, I do kind of, do a big thing because it's their first birthday. You get the smash cake, all that stuff. So we have that going on, and then I have a friend because me and my friend had our babies literally 3 days apart. I had her 2 weeks early, so it wasn't expected. So I have to go to his party, so it's just gonna be a busy weekend, but we're excited. Yeah, busy week, and we have to get ready for back to school in a few weeks, so I'll update you when I update you, probably tomorrow. See you then. Hello everyone. I didn't vlog yesterday. It was Monday, and I had a severe case of the Mondays.
I gotta get out of here. I think I'm gonna lose it.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Today's Tuesday. I have not gotten that far into the book, I will tell you that. I'm on page 80. It's not the worst. How many pages does this book even have? I don't want to see the end. 277. It's really not that long. I'm hoping to finish it by tomorrow. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. It is very creepy, a lot more creepier than I anticipated. So much so that when I was reading it last night, it was a little too creepy for bedtime. So I'm like, I gotta put this down. So I did. But anyway, so like I told you guys about this book is like 2 books within one. It's about, a character that had a experience with a serial killer named the Nothing Man, and she's writing kind of her memoir about it. And we're also following the perspective of said serial killer, Nothing Man, as he is reading the book. He found it. He is like a security guy in just a store, and he found the book on the shelves, and he is known by the Nothing Man. That's what the kind of, society has dubbed him. And he's like, holy crap, this book is about me. And so you get snippets of him reading the book and his life, and then you get snippets of the actual book. And what's interesting about this book is when I say it's 2 books within a book, it really is. Because usually, I've read a ton of books where you have kind of another book within it, but usually they're snippets. They're a couple pages long. No, this one has full-on chapters of this girl's memoir. Like I told you, it switches. I know I'm dog-earing a library copy, I know. It switches back and forth between her memoir and then the Nothing Man reading about him, and you can tell, like I said, it's got her name instead of the author's name up there, and they're full-on chapters. Right now, technically I'm in chapter, I don't even know what chapter I'm in her. I think I'm on chapter 3. Yeah, I'm on chapter 3 in her book technically, and it's just interesting because it's getting the full scale of what exactly happened, because at the very beginning of this book you have, or beginning of her book, shall I say, this is going to be so confusing to explain, it says the victims, because he did sexually assault 3 victims, I'd say, and then he went on to murder, and she's kind of redoing, rehashing the sexually assaulted victim stories, and that was whoa, this is getting intense. I can't even imagine when we get to the murder part. So it's interesting, but I am enjoying it. I've switched up my TBR a little bit. So I told you guys I'm reading these 2 books by the same author. But I do need another book to kind of shake me out of thrillers, and I was going to read Angelica Frankenstein Meets Her Match, but I'm kind of maybe saving that for September because I feel like that's officially the start of fall. So I have started another book. It's a totally random book. It's called Unfixable by Tessa Bailey. If you guys don't know, Tessa Bailey writes a lot of romance book. Right now I have Kindle Unlimited, and that was featured in there, and I was like, oh, I haven't read this Tessa Bailey book because she's got a lot. It's I don't even know if I'll talk about that much because there's not much to it. It's about a girl named Willa that goes to Dublin, Ireland after a breakup, and there she meets kind of a Formula One racer named Shane, I believe his name is, and they gotta kind of hate to love. It's just, I'm reading it strictly because I need a little bit of a break in between like dark books. That's just how I am. I read 2 books now at once because I've been reading a lot of thrillers, but I do need a little bit of lightness in them because this one is dark. So that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, today is actually, this week is a beautiful week here where I live. I live in Virginia, and summers are brutal here, like really brutal. It's like I'm talking about 95 to 105 temperatures with the heat index, like what it feels like is 110. It's intense, and the humidity is, but this week in particular is like in the high 70s, low 80s, which is really rare for August, probably global warming, but it feels amazing. I'm not gonna lie. It does this like every year usually, like right before September hits, like, or like maybe when September hits. It's like gives you that false fall. That's like, you know, it's like, it's just a teaser because you think, oh, this is gonna be a great fall, and then September will come and it will be smack dab right in the middle of 100-degree weather. But either way, I'm not complaining because this week feels great. Like it feels nice to walk outside. So we're trying to spend a lot of time outside and yard work and all that stuff. So yeah, it feels nice. I'll update you probably maybe tomorrow. Today's a busy day with, I'm going to my mom's house and I have to take my dad to get his haircut because I told you guys I'm doing a lot with my father right now, and that includes like a lot of it is kind of me being the parent, if you will. I don't want to go much into it because it's personal, but I am taking him to get a haircut because he's been needing one for a long time, but I'm doing that, and that'll probably pretty much take up my whole day is those 2 things, but I'll update you when I update you. Wish I could say it'll look better for this, but I never do. And I have this huge zit right here. Hi, it's Wednesday. I have good news. I have finished The Nothing Man. I finished it a few hours ago, honestly. Overall, I didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to love it. Like the first half, I was really interested in it. I love the whole book within a book concept of it, and I think that's a really cool concept. I think like the second half, as we go into the book where the character writing the book within the book, it gets kind of muddled down. Like she's trying to find who the Nothing Man is and things like that, and the investigation I just wasn't really interested in. It was kind of boring. I did enjoy like the Nothing Man, the guy that reading it perspective, the serial killers, but I do think this book is an important one to read because it really talks about the victims, because I think in a lot of times with, especially with true crime getting as much popularity it has been for the last few years, I think serial killers have kind of become like glamorized, and just really like people dedicate their, like people like get obsessed with them, people get obsessed with studying them, and you know, that's not to say it's right or wrong, but I do think, and often these times we forget about the victims of these serial killers that lost their lives or got assaulted and things like that. And this book really does focus on the victims and how, you know, you can go on after that trauma, how some people can't. So I did enjoy it for that matter. The ending was okay. I kind of felt like it just came out of nowhere and it didn't really have a resolute ending, which it does make sense, I guess, because sometimes in real life instances where this happens to people, there is no clear-cut ending. They just kind of have to, you know, move on with the rest of their lives. So it's a book. I think right now my gut rating is like 3.5 out of 5. I did enjoy like the overall plot of it. I just thought it was a little bit kind of boring in the middle. But I did enjoy it. I do enjoy this author's writing style, hence why I have now started her newest book that literally just came out yesterday called Runtime. Yeah, I mean, overall, I did enjoy this one, and I would recommend it, especially if you love like the whole book within a book thing. This one does really well, and it ties it together so well, especially with the one twist. I did enjoy, there was one really big twist in here. I think there was a couple, but there was one twist I did really enjoy. But overall, like, I liked the idea of it. I liked somewhat of the execution of it, but I just found it a little bit kind of boring. That's just me. I'll have to think about it more, but yeah, that's my update. Right now, I am about to fold this giant thing of laundry. I wish I could say this is like once a week. I get so sick of folding laundry. I'm gonna watch something. Am I watching anything new or cool this week? I don't think so. I decided to rewatch The Office, Matt and I have, because we haven't rewatched it in quite some time. I think we rewatched it too much. Like, we've seen that show for like 20 times over. And we got a little bit to the point where like, we need to take a break. And it's been a couple years since we watched it, so it's been, I'm glad we took that break because I'm really loving it again. I've always loved it. But you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you just rewatch a show and then rewatch it again, and then again, and then again, it just, kind of, I'll update you on my feelings with it. I am 50% of the way, I think, into the Unfixable by Tessa Bailey. It's like a romance book. I'm actually really enjoying it much more than I thought I was going to enjoy. Like, that makes words. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I was. I thought it was just going to be a quick, fast read, and it is, but I'm actually liking the characters more than I thought I would, so there's that. Maybe this is kind of an underrated Tessa Bailey book that nobody talks about, but I'll update you when I update you. Update you. I don't have much of an update, sadly. I know I'm like, boring vlog. I feel like all my vlogs are boring, but I mean, that's just, 'tis my life. Anyway, I am on chapter 6. Okay, cool. A lot farther than I thought I was. I'm officially 24% of the way into Runtime by Katherine Ryan Howard, and I am enjoying this. So, I know a little bit more about this book now. So in this book, I don't even know what her main character's name is. I should probably know that. I think her name's Adele. Yes, her name's Adele, and she is, I think Katherine Ryan Howard is Irish, so I think all of her books take place in Ireland. At least the last book I read by her takes place in Ireland. This one too, especially in Cork, Ireland. I don't know. But either way, Adele, she's an actress, and she was on like a soap opera or something in Ireland and did pretty good, which made her quit and go on to this movie, which did good. And after that, her career kind of bombed. So she decided to like move to LA where nobody knows her name and kind of start over, and surprise, it's not going well for her until she gets this random call about this movie that's being made in Ireland called Final Draft. And it's like a horror movie set in like a cabin, and their leading lady backed out literally the last minute, so they're like scrambling to find somebody, and she's like, you know what, I'll do it because, you know, I need to act. So she goes back to Ireland in literally this remote forest. Like, it takes place in this nice house in the middle of the forest, and there she is shooting this movie called Final Draft, and that's where I've just stopped where I'm reading right now, is where she arrived there. And in this book is another book, you know, it's kind of Katherine Ryan Howard's kind of thing, I guess I'm learning now, especially with this being my second read by her. With this book, you're getting to see Adele's point of view with her landing this role. You're also getting the script for the movie that she's starring in called Final Draft. And what's even more interesting about this book, it's like a book and a book and a book. So I feel like this author's just like, last book, book and a book, now we're going to do a book and a book and a book. Maybe in the next book it'll be a book and a book and a book and a book. Is that confusing yet?
Don't know that we know they know we know. And Joe, you can't say anything.
Couldn't if I wanted to.
Confusing. So like I said, she's starring in this movie called Final Draft, and this whole, at least what I've read so far with the script of what we know, in the movie Final Draft, Adele's playing this character named Kate, who her and her boyfriend Joel go into a cabin in the middle of the woods to get away, and there she sees like this bookshelf that's like full of these books, I think called Final Draft, and the owner of the cabin's like, oh, you know, it's a great book, we're proud of it because the author wrote it while he was here. I don't think it did very well sales wise. She's like, you may want to wait till you get home to read it because it's all about a couple that goes to a cabin and scary things happen. And so she's reading that book. So it's like a book, we're following Adele with starring in this character named Kate who's reading another book. So it has got layers upon layers of confusions, but it's interesting and it is easy to keep up with. You definitely know when the script is, and you can definitely tell when she's reading the book in the movie that she's starring in. It sounds so convoluted, doesn't it? But I mean, it's good so far. I'm liking it. We'll see what I think about when I finish it. My battery's flashing. Either way, that's my update for today. Today has just been a day like a lot of other days. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. Hopefully, I think the way that, no, I don't want to spoil myself. I want to say the way this is going, I might like this better than The Nothing Man, but as I famously always say, we will see. Oh, popping back on here. Look, I have finished filming, so I immediately put my hair up because that's my life. I bought a book today. I was at Target, and somehow I always have to buy a book when I'm at Target because I don't know. But I bought The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I have read a couple of her books, mainly her YA ones, the Geekarella ones. I tried reading her fantasy one, and this is her adult romance book, I think. Oh, it's a Good Morning America book club pick. I don't know. But either way, I think this is about a character named Florence who's a ghostwriter for a really popular romance author, and then she thinks love is dead, and then I think her editor's like cutting her out because he's like, you need to get a book in, and then next thing you know, she goes to this hometown, kind of like Stars Hollow, and she sees the ghost of her editor there, and they fall in love. So it's like a paranormal romance. I don't know. It sounded interesting. I've heard good things about it, so I bought it because I'm a sucker. Happy Friday. I finished another book. I'm very proud of myself. I finished the second Katherine Ryan Howard book, Runtime, and I liked it, but I didn't like it. I have some mixed feelings about it. So yesterday I told you all what it was about, how it was kind of a story within a story within a story. It's all kind of convoluted and a little bit confusing. So the movie is like, the book is about a character that takes place in a movie that's about a book where it's so complicated to read, to explain it to you. Hopefully I tried to do, I did not do a very good job explaining it to you, but hopefully I tried. Basically, okay, we have a character named Adele who's an actress. She gets a job to be in a small horror movie called Final Draft, and she goes to Ireland for it, and she stars in Final Draft as this character named Kate, Kate and her boyfriend go to this small cabin, and in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, and weird things start happening. Kate finds this book called Final Draft, and she's noticing that it's like scary kind of things that are happening in the book are happening her to also in real life. So Adele's playing a character in a movie that's based like on a book. It's so weird. It sounds so crazy, but overall, I feel like I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I'm kind of disappointed with it because the ending could have been so much more. I could have really went with the creep factor, but it didn't. There was a couple plot twists that I wasn't expecting, but I didn't really care about them. Like I thought the overall plot was cool. Like the whole book within a book within a book. I honestly, my favorite part I would say in this whole book is you get the script from Final Draft that she stars in. And I actually like that the best. That was the most creepiest I thought with the storyline. Like I would have liked to see that be the actual book. Because Adele was an okay character, but you just you never knew what was going on. And when everything was revealed, I was still like, what? Like, what's happening? Like, it was just so, I don't know. So, I don't know, 3.5 out of 5. I liked it. I didn't love it. I definitely say if you want like a secluded thriller, like out in the middle of the woods where you're kind of like away from everything, go for it. I would say Nothing Man or Runtime. I like them both for different reasons. I think they're both unique. Like she reads definitely unique stuff, but I think my problem I'm having with this author is the endings don't really leave me feeling very satisfied. They kind of just leave on like a, you know, I felt that with Nothing Man and now this one. I think the whole overall plot is really, really cool. Kind of the trajectory to get there and then the ending just don't sync up for me quite fully. So yeah, I don't know. I might read another book by her. I do like the writing style. Like I said, her plots are really cool. Like both these books I read this week had very unique and interesting plots that just make you want to read them. But I think the execution just kind of fails. So I would say both of them are kind of middle of the road for me. So yeah, I think I don't know what book I'm going to start next. I still am reading Unfixable by Tessa Bailey. I will say I did finish Runtime pretty quickly because I was invested in it. I was like, what the crap is going to happen? Like, well, how are they going to tie this all up? So I kind of abandoned Unfixable, but I'm going to finish that one probably today, and then I'll start another book. I don't know which one. Maybe I will go with Angelica Frankenstein Meets a Match. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. I don't know. I won't get much reading done tomorrow because it's your party. It's Monday. I meant to vlog yesterday and then I just didn't, and it was a montage fully on Saturday. It was a very busy weekend. So Saturday, as you guys saw, was we did Autumn's first birthday. Really fun. We just had some family and a little bit of friends over, and it was a great time. So that took the whole day pretty much, like prepping and cleaning and all that stuff. And then yesterday we went to church, and then we went to a little boy that was at Autumn's birthday party to his birthday party, because they're literally 2 days apart. It's very fun. Me and the mom are very close, so we had a great time there. I just didn't vlog because, you know, privacy. I don't want to invade anybody else's privacy, and I was just trying to be in the moment, which is something I'm trying to do more of. But either way, it was a great weekend, a very busy weekend. Like, I'm tired. I look tired. I feel tired. I am tired. But I wanted to come on here quickly to wrap things up. So this week in total, I read 3 books. I am very happy with myself. I read 2 thrillers and 1 romance. So you guys saw the majority of the time this week I was talking about Katherine Ryan Howard's books. I did purchase Runtime before I finished it. Now I'm kind of a little bit regretting it, because the more time goes on, the more I'm disappointed with this book, honestly. But either way, I read them both. I read The Nothing Man, which I think I did like more because it was just very interesting. And then I read Runtime. This could have been so much more, but it wasn't. Like, the direction that it took was just, it wasn't there for me. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, I was very dissatisfied with the ending, with the big conclusion. They could have went creepier and darker and really went the whole meta thing, like the story within a story within a story. But it just, I did like the isolation factor, and I wish they played on that a little bit more. But I mean, overall, I did enjoy them both. I would say they're both kind of the middle of the road for me. The things, like I've talked about repeatedly, is they both have really interesting concepts. Like the plot of them each sound amazing, like so intriguing, but the execution and the final kind of endings for both of them really did not do it for me. So I don't know. I might read more Katherine Howard books. I don't know how many books she's written. Let's see. She's written Nothing Man, and okay, so she's written 56 Days. I have not read that one. Rewind, Liar's Girl, and Distress Signal. So I might check those out depending on if they sound good or not. But I would love to know your opinions. If you've read this author, what your thoughts on them are. Are you feeling the same as me, where the plot's really good, but the execution was just not there? And then the other book I read, like I told you guys, was Unfixable by Tessa Bailey. I did finish this one literally last night. I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was okay. Tessa Bailey's just kind of an author that I usually don't give her higher than like a 3.5, because I do enjoy them, but I don't love her books. So like I told you, this one's about a girl named Willow who wins this photo contest, who goes to Ireland, and she meets a guy named Shane there, who's like a Formula Embracer, but he's working at his family's kind of bar in Dublin, and they kind of form a relationship. It was okay. It wasn't anything like amazing, but I will say it's an underrated Tessa Bailey book that I haven't heard anybody talk about, so I did enjoy it for that. I like this one more than some of her other ones. Overall, it was an okay reading week. Like, 3 books is really good, but none of the books I read this week really wowed me, which is, you know, always kind of unfortunate, especially when you film a reading vlog. You want to read a book, you're just like, oh my gosh, but it happens. It happens. This week was a good reading week. Just wish I loved them a little bit more, but as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to try to do a reading vlog every month. I'm going to try to do them themed, especially since we're about to get into the fall season. Speaking of which, I'm literally about to decorate for fall, because the party I went to yesterday at my friend's house, she had a pumpkin pie candle lit, and she had her fall decorations, and I'm like, this is my opportunity. Like, this is my permission to decorate for fall, because my friend already has, and I am ready for it. So I'm going to do that. But maybe next month, I think I'm doing like maybe a cozy reading vlog, and then maybe October I'll do a spooky reading vlog, in November maybe another cozy reading vlog. You get the gist. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.